Hello, this is Tech 406 again, and this time we're going to be going through Microsoft Windows NT 3.1, and this one here has some actually has some nice features too that you might want to use over Windows 3.1. It supports SCSI, so you can actually use bus logic. I'll go into the settings here just to give you an idea on what it supports, what I'll be showing you in the actual final video. So. We're going to go into storage here, and you'll see the controller is SCSI controller. We're installing a SCSI drive bus logic. I want to show you how to get that working, and then how to access a SCSI DVD-ROM, C/CD-ROM. And then the audio, doesn't matter. The networking support I'll show you as well, and how to get that working. That's fairly straightforward, and I think that's about it in there. So we're going to log in here. And as you can hear, there's sound. And we're able to access our network shares from the previous videos. And also access the bitmap as well from the previous video too. So, but yeah, everything works there. We're going to go into setup here and show you the video driver being used right now. Right now it's VirtualBox 480 True Color video driver. So I want to show you how to set that up as well. Then under control panel here, we're going to go under the network options, and you're going to see the configuration for the network stuff here. Just to show you that the adapter's all there and everything like that. And then under drivers, we're gonna set up the Creative Labs driver there, as you see there. And yeah, so in the next part of this video, we're going to set up Windows NT 3.1. Okay, so here we go with the Windows NT 3.1 installation. So we're going to go into New here. And we're just gonna type in Windows NT. Actually, we're gonna make it short because I already have a VM called that, right? So WinNT 3.1. We're gonna call this one. You can call it whatever you want, of course, and then choose the Windows version as 3.1. Don't choose NT4, or you'll get a blue screen. Make sure you choose 3.1, and then 32 megs of RAM is fine, and then create the virtual hard disk. So create as 1 gig should be fine. We create it, and then we're going to go into our settings now, and we're going to change a few things to make sure that we get what we need. So we're going to go under System. We're going to disable acceleration because there's some incompatibility issues with acceleration and Windows NT 3.1 as I have found. And display stuff is fine. And under storage, you're going to want to add a bus logic controller, so that when you install, when the installation process goes through, it automatically detects the bus logic and gets all those things set up. And then just add an empty drive and put it on SCSI port number 1 for it detects all that correctly. And then here we're going to select our DOS 6.22 floppy image. And then here we're going to select our Windows NT 3.1 ISO. You have to boot into DOS in order to do this. The ISO is not bootable, so you have to boot into DOS in order to do the installation. Okay, and with that done, I'm going to change my audio to pulse audio so that I can record the audio correctly. And Sound Blaster 16. And under network, we're going to go to host only adapter, so we can actually connect it to the network. And then the rest here, make sure USB ports is disabled because there's no point in having that, and serial ports is on. Nothing's enabled there by default. Okay, so we're going to press OK, and we are going to start the virtual machine now and start the installation process. And for this, you are free to say install DOS as well, so you can dual boot the system, but I don't see a point of doing that. If you have VMs, just set up a different DOS VM. So what we're going to do is we're not going to do that. We're just going to use the DOS boot disk here to do fdisk mbr, and then also run fdisk to create the partitions. And then once we're created, we're just going to format the drive, and then that's it. We're not going to put anything on the drive. We're going to go Format C. Oops. Format C, yes. Get the drive formatted, don't worry about that. And then we're going to go to the D drive, we're going to go into I-386. And then we're going to type in setup. If you don't want to create the floppy disk, like say you already have the installed floppy disk, you can go X. But for this demo, thing, I'm going to show you how to create the floppy disk. So just go setup, because we're going to need to do something like that. So run setup as normal. Oh, sorry, it's WinNT. And then it needs to know the location of all the files. Do that, and then so it requires provide you a blank. I think I have to format the disk too. If you don't have a formatted, okay, yeah, the disk has to be formatted before the setup. So we have to format the disk prior. So we're going to go see, nothing's in there yet. So in order to run actually we can run format from the A, and still it'll just, so format A, insert a new disk in drive A. So now we're going to, for the moment, we're going to remove that disk. And I am going to create a new shell here. And we're going to put this there. Now, I created a script called mkfloppy. This is what the script does. And on Windows, you can use the program like WinImage to create blank floppy images and just pop it in the machine. You don't have to do the formatting or whatever. But for our case, we kind of do have to create a fake floppy here. So we're going to go mkfloppy nt31 setup image. So now it creates the blank floppy disk that we need with all the proper block size and whatever else we need there, right? So we don't need that no more. And then we're going to insert this disk into the virtual machine here. So nt31 setup disk, and then we're going to press enter. And then the disk is now formatted. We don't want to format another disk, and then we have to insert the disk again with command.com, and then press enter to continue. Okay, then we can go D and type in WinNT again, and then we can put in the nt31 setup disk now, and let it create the install image we need. And after it does that, it will Windows NT will basically copy all the files required to boot the system into a minimal Windows NT system, which will start it up. So we'll just give it a few moments here for this to process. Actually, while that's doing that, I'm going to configure the audio recording for you can hear sound after the sound set up. And this is how Jack Sound is set up for recording, because I'm using Record My Desktop program. So you just point the pulse audio out to your recording. So I just basically did a connect to connect the pulse audio to Record My Desktop so that it gets recorded in. So I have another video on that on my other YouTube channel that explains how to get all that set up. And everything for Jack can properly do that. But this process shouldn't hopefully take any much longer. We're just going to need to wait a bit. Almost done here. Gotta like the slowness of an IDE drive. Can't wait to actually update it to the SCSI soon. Okay, the MS-DOS portion setup is now complete, so we'll restart the computer. So let's press enter. And here we go. We're now in the setup program. So we're going to set it up, press enter. We're going to use a custom setup because that's more better. Oh, that's interesting. It didn't detect the bus logic. Huh. Oh, because I set up as LS. I didn't actually put it as that. Okay, so we're going to quit this for a moment because I want to put it as bus logic here because I kind of made a mistake there. So we're going to power off this virtual machine for a moment. Go back into the settings here because it has to be, you have to have it as bus logic or it won't be detected. I can't believe I just forgot that. That's anyway. So we're going to try this again, and hopefully the setup disk doesn't ask us to restart setup from the beginning again. It might. Sometimes it does that. It didn't. Good. It's perfect. Well, it might actually, because it hasn't detected the hard drive yet, so once it sees the hard drive, you never know. Yeah, it did. Worked. Perfect. Okay, and you can keep all these as their default for now, so that Windows setup will boot up correctly. And then choose your drive. Convert to NTFS I'd recommend just because of the benefits of NTFS over FAT. And then /NT is fine. And then let it just do the install. Okay. And then remove the disk from drive A. And we're also going to remove the the disk from the IDE drive as well, since we're done with that. The DOS portion is done. And then press your host key plus delete to do a control delete, which will restart VirtualBox. And then you should get into the Windows NT setup program. So I'm actually going to move this where you can see it nicely and full screen. Okay. So we're just going to fill out this information here, computer name. Should be fine. Should be fine. We don't want that. We want setup network. We want all components, that is. We don't have printers. We don't have applications on the hard drive. And then setup network. Yep. Okay. Continue. And I'm thinking going do not detect here. It won't detect it anyways because Windows NT 3.1 does not have drivers for that AMD device. There's a PCNet one here, but I don't think that one will work. Don't choose that one. I wouldn't recommend that. Instead, get the proper driver disk, and then go to Other, Requires Disk from Manufacturer, and then go Continue. And then just put the disk in, and then just install the regular Windows NT drivers. It doesn't have to be NT 3.1 and NT 3.1 specific drivers. You can install just the regular Windows NT drivers. I'll show you the contents of that disk afterwards. So you can see that disk is available online in various places. You can find the PCNet disk image online. So we're just going to wait for this installation to proceed here. Shouldn't take too long. Okay. And then here you want the bus scan to be PCI, and then just press continue. And then for here, I would recommend installing the TCP, because right now there's no TCP, there's nothing, so just go to Add Software, and then select TCP IP protocol from the list here. And if you wanted to, you can install the FTP server, but the FTP server is not. I've been finding it difficult to use with the Linux FTP client. So I don't know what's wrong, but actually no, it did work technically. I think it did actually work. Yeah, it did actually work. Okay, so we'll install it. If I can show you how that works. Let's install that. It gives you a warning here, but if you're on the same network, it doesn't really matter. So just go yes. And then you can go to C, and you can just log in with your regular Windows NT login, or you can allow anonymous connections and do that. You can also allow only anonymous too, but then you can't write. So we're going to show you how to enable writing as well, if you can actually copy things in and out of your virtual machine without having to use Windows networking if you don't want to. Okay, so we're going to press OK now. It'll do the configuring the network part here, and then it'll ask for a default gateway. Since we're on the local network, we don't do default gateway, but put it in if you have one. But we're going to do an IP address, which is going to be 192.168.56, and we're just going to use 40. And then press Tab, and then the submask should automatically just fill in for you. And then press OK. It'll ask you about the gateway. Press No, and then let it start up the network. We're almost done the setup now. Okay, workgroup, you can go to workgroup. You can also, if you have a domain, you can also join the domain. This system can join, I believe, NT4 domains for sure. That means it should also be able to join, and it should also be able to join Samba domains, and it should also be able to join maybe possibly 2,000 domains and maybe even newer. I'm not too sure. I haven't tested any newer than NT server because it's as far as I have, but it should work with Samba. I'll make future videos that actually show how to create a Samba domain controller and how to set up various Windows clients to connect to that Samba domain controller, and I'll show the tools and how they go through that. But that's another video for another day. So let's just continue through the setup here and let it set up Program Manager. If you notice here, it's logged in as NT authority / system to do the program manager stuff, which is kind of interesting if you think of it. And then we're going to just enter some sort of password here. And then a username for yourself. Okay, and then virtual memory, just that's defaults are fine. And for this, I'm not going to select my time. I'm just going to press OK. I don't care about that right now. And then now it's talking about an emergency repair disk. We're not going to worry about this because it's a virtual machine. You can always just do snapshots in that. So we're going to remove the PCNet disk and just press OK, and then press cancel, and then it won't create the disk, and then we can do a restart. And you don't want to set up the SCSI stuff yet. You want to wait first until it does all the other stuff, like it does all the other things first. 'Cause it does a few things during the first parts here, like it changes the file system from FAT to NTFS, and then a few other little things. We want to make sure we can log in successfully once, and then after we know that, then we're going to basically change over from IDE into SCSI. So we're almost through here. That's just setting security on files and rebooting, and boom, we're in. Okay, so we're gonna log in you have to log in as administrator to be able to do all the administrative stuff we're gonna be doing in this video. So log in as administrator account with your password, and then let it log in, and it should successfully log in with no issues. Shouldn't give you any errors. And once you're logged in, just do a shutdown and shut down. Doesn't take too long to shut down. Like Windows NT 3.1 is actually nice and speedy fast in VirtualBox, even with the acceleration turned off, which is quite nice. So now we're going to go into settings, and here's where we have to do some alterations. So we're going to go into storage. We are going to first remove the CD drive, and then we're going to remove the disk, and then we're going to remove the IDE entirely. You don't need IDE at all. So then we're going to go add a new disk, a new hard disk. We're going to choose our existing disk, and then on the left here I have VirtualBox VMs. Choose the same one you had before, which is WinNT3.1, WinNT3.1 VDI. And there we go, and everything is now as it should be. Press OK and start. And it should boot up normally, because the BIOS can boot SCSI devices. And yeah, seems faster, doesn't it? All disk operation should be much more quicker, and there's less CPU overhead as well. Okay, so now let's go with the next components here. We're going to install the service pack. So, service pack is fairly easy to find online. So you should be able to find it fairly easily. So we're going to go to File Manager here. We're going to go to our DVD, CD drive, and these are all stuff that helps a lot. And go to the service pack that you downloaded, just locate it, and then run update exe. And then just let it update. And then reboot. Okay, so now we have the latest service pack installed, which is great. Now we're going to install the video. So to get the video drivers, just search online for video MP, I believe it is. I can try and locate the links again, but I haven't. I had these files for a while, but I'm sure it should be easy to find. I can probably post them somewhere as well, depending on the licensing and distribution rights of it. I believe they're open source software, so I don't think there's a problem with redistributing it. But yeah, on the CD drive here, I have lots of various little things. There's the service pack. There's WinZip that's compatible with this. And here's the video. Here's the actual video driver here. oh yeah, so see what you want to search under NT Video Mini Port. The mini port, and the README file says everything here. Unfortunately, they don't give a URL of where their project page is. So unfortunately, that doesn't help very much. And the just look for NT mini port, because mini port drivers work for everything, and it says it even works with the Windows 7 apparently, the same driver here. So that means you can run it from anything. But you have to copy this file here, the framebuff.dl, off of your Windows NT CD-ROM though, and put it onto the same disk. And it has to be installed off the floppy disk. I don't know why I've been having troubles installing it from this directory, at least this version of the driver. So it has to be on a floppy disk like this. So this is the exact floppy here that we'll be using. So we're going to close that. We're going to go into NT Setup to change the video driver. We're going to go Change System Settings. We're going to go down to the bottom. We're going to go A, and then we're going to select VirtualBox 64480 True Color. Press OK. And also to note, the original Windows 3.1 never supported True Color support. So this allows you to have True Color and proper video within Windows 3.1 within Windows 3.1 applications. And I'm sure this version of Windows NT is the most compatible with 3.1 apps. So it might be very good to have this just for 3.1 apps. So we're going to now we have to restart the computer for the changes to take effect. So let's shut down and do a restart after the shutdown. And we're going to eject the disk because we don't want it to boot. Okay. And now the next thing to do is going to be the sound driver, which does not take very long to do at all. Yep, I believe that is everything that's needed here. Yeah, it is. Nice. Okay, so next is just the sound. We got the service pack. We switched it to SCSI. We installed the video. And yeah, it's basically we almost did everything we had to do. Oh yeah, I didn't show you the networking stuff yet, so we're gonna go through that in a moment. So we're gonna Sound Blaster this. Windows NT CD-ROM, so we're gonna put the NT CD-ROM in here, and then go D/I386, and then it's 220 interrupt 5. It'll give you that warning, but don't worry about it because it works. Okay, so we're going to do a reboot again here, and now Sound Blaster 16 is now installed. Oh. Huh. I had the disk in there apparently. There we go. Okay, and brace your ears because you're going to hear the sound. There we go. Okay, and yeah, we're all good to go in that route. Oh yeah, and I want to show you how to enable write access to the FTP server. So we go to FTP server here, click on security, go into the C, and go allow write, and press OK. Yeah, it's not very good security type thing. You can't secure it by shares. You have to secure it like that, which is kind of iffy, but it works. So. Yeah. And yeah, and you can also open the server and actually share files and things like that. So if you wanted to share different directories and things to share through Windows file sharing, you can do it that way as well. So now we're going to map a drive. Unfortunately, it's difficult to get into my other shares here. So we'll just go to lm serve data and then press OK, and then you can access the same data as we had before. Ta-da! Works. And also to note, the MSP files can't convert over with this version of Paint apparently. 3.1 Paint I believe worked, but apparently NT3.1 Paint doesn't, which I think is really weird. But anyway, so yeah, that's how that works. And now I'm going to show you how to write a file. So I'm going to actually I'll put the file into the temp directory. So yeah. So from your FTP client, you just need to go to the server, which is like, it's going to be FTP / 192.168.56.40. Press enter, and then don't do anonymous. Log in as your user. I don't know if administrator can log in, but I know that one can log in. And yeah, so here we have it. We're connected. Sometimes it'll actually put C:/ at the top. I don't know why, but apparently it does that sometimes. So we're going to go into the temp here, and we're going to just create a new text file. We're going to call it textfile.txt. And for some reason, my client here does not like opening these files. Like I get a weird error message for opening remote files from here. It works with other FTPs, but doesn't work from apparently the Windows FTP server. So I can't actually open up files. I can copy files back and forth, but I just can't edit files in place from this. But we're not going to worry about that right now. What we're going to do is we're going to go back, and we're going to see that the file does exist now. As you can see, text file. Open it up and you'll see how the file was created. It's like a Unix enter right there. That's why that's there. But yeah, so that is that. You can copy files from FTP back and forth. So that is the gist of Windows NT 3.1 installation, and you of course have all the resources accessible to you now for that. Okay, and hope this video was helpful. And watch out for the next video, which is going to be Windows 3.11 for workgroups.